Karl Malone, the two-time MVP and 14-time All-Star basketball player, had one of the finest careers in the NBA, but his personal life was just as colorful. From his wife of over 30 years, Kay Kinsey, to his scandalous relationship with Gloria Bell. Here are the wives and girlfriends of Karl Malone, starting with Kay Kinsey. Karl married the former Miss Idaho in December 1990. Unlike most other celebs, their marriage has luckily survived the test of time. The couple has 4 kids, 3 daughters, Katie, Kylie, Carly, and 1 son, Karl Jr. Guess the couple really like names that begin with K, huh? Kay runs her own business in Utah, and she handles her husband's enterprises in Louisiana, where the two are currently based. She manages the Teriyaki Grill restaurant in Ruston. Now, Kay's from Idaho, and she got pretty famous after she won the title of Miss Idaho in 1988. But she decided to give up her modeling career after she married Karl Malone.
Man.
They're the real ones.
Yeah, the real ones.
I was just got a nickname.
While growing up, her family moved places pretty frequently. She went from San Antonio to Hawaii to California. She even lived in Texas for a while. But she attended a local high school in Idaho and later joined Boise State University for further education. She graduated with a major in sociology. That's pretty cool. Kay Kinsey's dad was a retired military man, and unfortunately, she lost her mom to colon cancer in 2000. The 59-year-old runs a couple of other businesses, such as Eskimo's Ice Cream in Salt Lake City and Arby's in Ruston. Her net worth is $75,000 US as of last year. Karl, on the other hand, has a net worth of $55 million US. That's insane.
Kobe don't like me today. That's Kobe Bryant's fault. It ain't mine or his problem.
But it makes sense, considering he's pretty much a basketball superstar. So how did the couple meet? The two had a pretty romantic meet. Cute, actually. They first met in 1989 when the Utah Jazz star athlete was signing autographs in Salt Lake City. Kinsey's brother-in-law was in line, and she questioned him about the player. Later, her sister took a picture with the basketball athlete and posted it on her socials. The pair began to communicate via letters until they started going out. That's pretty romantic and old school. The couple tied the knot on December 24th, just 1 year after knowing each other. I guess when you know, you know. Their son, Karl Jr., played football at LSU and was even invited to an NFL Combine in 2018.
Look at his past, you know, he made a mistake, but at the end of the day, he's still a great dad.
The couple's daughter, Carly, is a model and a YouTube sensation. Karl Malone has 3 more children from other relationships. In fact, he had a pretty scandalous relationship with Gloria Bell. Although Karl's only been married once, he had a son with Gloria Bell when she was just 13. That's horrifying. He was a 20-year-old sophomore at Louisiana Tech when he impregnated his girlfriend.
I'm very humbled, and I didn't make this journey alone. And
her family refused to press charges for statutory rape because he was on the verge of hitting NBA stardom, but the basketball athlete repaid this in the poorest form. He refused to acknowledge that their child was his. Gloria Bell's family then went on to file a paternity lawsuit against Karl, and they settled out of court in a way that allowed him to not publicly acknowledge that he was the father of their child, Demetrius Bell.
I'm guard because I never thought a coach would let me leave his program and go to another.
Tests prove that he was the father of the boy, though. Gloria asked the courts for $200 US in child support per week from the NBA multimillionaire. Karl was ordered by the court to give $125 per week. But in a shocking twist of events, he claimed that he couldn't afford that amount. That's ridiculous, even for him. Though, what about Karl's relationship with Demetrius? Well, his son didn't know who his father was until he dropped out of high school. Fortunately, he went on to become an NFL lineman and eventually met his father when he was 17 years old. Karl reportedly told him that it was too late for him to be his father and that he'd have to make it on his own. That's brutal. Insider reports say that the two finally reconciled in 2014 and now talk almost every day. Demetrius played as an offensive lineman for the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. To this day, many fans haven't forgiven him for his mistreatment of Gloria and Demetrius Bell. It is is pretty cruel, honestly. Karl has pretty much never publicly acknowledged Gloria or Demetrius, probably because explaining that he slept with a 13-year-old would be even more complicated than explaining why he abandoned them. Fans simply can't let this go, especially since he's never even accepted it. That's not the only lawsuit that Karl Malone faced because of the terrible decisions he made in his personal life.
Practices, I didn't bring my camo or a gun or a bow. I left them home, so
He faced another lawsuit from Bonita Ford. Before the Gloria Bell scandal in 1980, Karl had twins with his high school sweetheart, Bonita Ford. Both were 17 when he got her pregnant with twins. Reportedly, once Karl left to play basketball at Louisiana Tech, he never reached out to Ford. The twins, Daryl and Cheryl Ford, didn't have any idea who their dad was until Bonita filed a paternity lawsuit when they were 8. The 19-year-old Karl was held in contempt of court and agreed to another out-of-court settlement, and Karl Malone refused a DNA test. What is his problem with them? Both the twins went on to play ball at Louisiana Tech. Cheryl Ford even had a 10-year WNBA career, in which she won 3 championships with the Detroit Shock. Eventually, in 1998, Malone finally acknowledged his kids. It looks like he regretted his treatment of them, as he admitted that he didn't handle it right. He said he was wrong and that Father Time is the biggest thief out there. He added that he couldn't get the time back. Maybe if his long list of misdeeds ended there, he may have a shot at redemption, but they don't. He even harassed Vanessa Bryant in 2004. Yet, reports say that Kobe Bryant's widow had a conversation with Karl, who was wearing a cowboy hat and boots at the Staples Center once. She referred to him as Cowboy and asked him what he was hunting. Apparently, he said he was hunting for little Mexican girls. That's pretty gross, especially considering Vanessa Bryant is of Mexican descent. That's not all, though. He made her uncomfortable on another occasion as well. One time, Karl's wife Kay gave Vanessa his number so that she could invite Karl Jr. to her seating area in the midst of a Lakers game, but their conversation once again went downhill. Kobe's agent Rob Pelinka told ESPN that Karl told Vanessa to come over there and sit next to him and give him a big hug. He said that if she did that, she'd be on the cover of every magazine in the country. Karl desperately needed a lesson on boundaries. Rob added that Vanessa didn't know what to say, as this was the first time she'd spoken to Karl without Kobe or Kinsey being around. Karl reportedly went on to ask her if she liked him. She told him she did, as her friend's husband. Malone then asked her if she could keep a secret because he wanted to tell her something. At this point, warning bells rang for Vanessa Bryant, and she told him she was a married woman and he was a married man who was old enough to be her father. Karl grotesquely replied, "Oh, like your daddy." Vanessa had had enough by then and ended the conversation. Reports say that Karl confessed to having this conversation to Kobe, but later denied it again when the two were on a phone call. It fractured Karl's relationship with the Bryants forever. Well, that's everything about Karl Malone and his wife and his girlfriends.